Yes, you read the title correctly. Today I want to shed light on how I plan to make over $1 million from my AI automation agency. I'm going to show you the methods I plan on using to make this big dream come true. I'm also going to share 3 ways that I plan to acquire customers for free. That's right, free. No BS here. And how you can do the same for your own AI automation agency. Now, the third method is the most effective and most powerful, so make sure you stay until the end so you don't miss out. That being said, Assalamu alaikum, my name is Muri, and I've been in the business world since the age of 16. I used to go around to people's houses cleaning their cars, detailing their cars. In fact, I still run that mobile car detailing business until this day. I managed to automate a lot of the processes, a lot of the systems within my own business, and I found myself really enjoying that process. And now I've created this YouTube channel to take you guys along the journey of me building up this AI automation agency, whilst at the same time teaching you how to automate your own business or even your own client's business. And I want you guys to extract as much value as possible. So what I've done is I've created a free resource, a free ebook called the AAA Masterclass, where you can get everything I learned, everything I know, all my systems, all my processes for free with the ebook. I'm constantly updating and I'm constantly improving the value I provide in the ebook, so it's kind of a must-have. Now let's go into more detail on my master plan and show you exactly how I'm going to acquire my first few customers and make over $1 million with the AI automation agency. Okay, before anything, you need to pick a service that you want to offer. So for me, the first step is to pick a service or a business department that I want to automate. What do I mean by that? In my previous video, I discussed how picking a niche is the wrong way to go about it and how I'm focusing on picking a department. So you choose a department, whether it's sales, marketing, operations, HR, and you offer that type of service to every other industry. So the reason I'm picking a department is because the growing pains in every industry are very similar when it comes to building a business. Now, I've chosen the operations department for the following reasons. The first reason is there's less competition. Everyone's trying to go after improving marketing, improving sales, improving all that glitz and glamour stuff. I want to focus on how the businesses operate. And by doing that, I'm focusing on businesses that are more established, that have been around for 5 years plus. That way, they don't have the issue of marketing, they've got a solid customer base, and they've also got the funding to spend to improve their operational costs. On top of that, the main reason why I'm going after the operations department is because it opens the doors for an extremely big opportunity. And that is what I call SaaS, software as a service. This is where the opportunity lies within AI automation agencies. This is where the real value is. More on that later in the video. Right now, I want to focus on how I'm going to acquire my first few customers, which is the most important thing. Like I say, I want to do this, I want to do that. Without my first 5 to 10 customers, I can't do anything. As I mentioned, I have 3 ways that I plan on getting my first few customers for free. The easiest way to get your first few customers is by doing what I did in my previous business, which is telling everyone you know. But keep in mind, you need to do this strategically. There's ways around this. There's ways to approach people you know so they don't sound like you're trying to sell them or you're trying to extort them. I'm going to go through my first way and how I'm strategic about this. So you don't want to just send out a mass message saying, I do this and let me know if you know anyone. No. You want to actually be personalized. You want to talk to them like you're talking to a human, right? Because you know these people. You've interacted with them before. Create a normal conversation with them saying, hi, how have you been? It's been a long time, blah, 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 blah. That's the first thing that I do. Now, I'm going to actually use Alex Hormozi's script for this. And you're working into the conversation. You'll be like, by the way, do you know anyone who is, and then you describe the struggle, look into, you want to give them the dream outcome in time delay. So for me, it would be like, do you know anyone who is struggling with their business operations and wants to automate that whole process to save them many hours throughout the day? That'll be a dream outcome. And then in a certain time period, in a week, in a month, in 2 months, however long it takes for me to actually build that product. And here's the important part. You'll be like, I'm taking on 5 case studies for free. Yes, you're doing this for free because at the moment you have no experience in automating businesses. So if you're starting out fresh, you want to do this for free, here's why. So you're going to be like, I'm taking on these 5 case studies for free because that's all I can handle. I just want to get testimonials for my service or product. And here's the most important part. You don't want to ask them if they want your service. You want to ask them if they know anyone that could use your service. Why is this important? You don't want them to feel like you're selling to them. If someone likes you and if someone knows you, they've interacted with you before, they'd like to do you a favor. If it doesn't make them lose any money, they'll be fine with it. So you're asking them as a friend if they know someone rather than asking them directly to use your service. It's very, very important to put that in there. So that's the first way I'm going to do it. I'm going to get every single one on my contact list and I'm going to just message them. Sit down for hours, maybe even days, and just message them. And the second method is again using a warm audience, my Instagram followers. Now, I don't have many Instagram followers. I got like 100. That's barely anything. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that same type of message on Instagram as a post, as a story, and I'm going to ask everyone to share it. Instagram, Facebook, any social media platform I have. But I'm going to focus on Instagram for now. First, you ask your friends to share it. And everyone that likes that post or that story, you're going to message every single one of them, their friends, in a 3-way. So they go from the request to the primary inbox. Saying the same thing. Do you know anyone that will find this thing valuable? The same thing you did in text, you're going to do on Instagram, but to your friends' friends. Each friend probably has a few hundred friends. So it becomes an expansion of your network. Again, you're not soliciting them, you're asking them if they know a friend. And this works because usually if you're friends with someone and you're in a 3-way chat, you kind of feel obliged to actually reply to that message. And now that leads us to a third and final way I'm going to get free customers. We've covered warm traffic. Now I'm going to cover a bit of a cold method that anyone can do no matter what connections you have, no matter where you're situated in the world. Now I love this method so much because it's a win-win situation for everyone involved. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to approach people that have my ideal customer as their customers already. So for me, I'm focusing on operations. I want to target businesses that are looking to improve their operation. I got to think, who has my customer? Who has my ideal customer? Who deals with business owners all the time? We've got accountants, we've got lawyers, we've got business association groups. There are groups where entrepreneurs hang out and look to connect with each other and provide value to each other. So I'm going to join these groups and offer my service for free if I'm just starting out. There's online groups, in-person groups, you can use from everywhere in the world. Accountants, they deal with people's business records. I'm going to go to an accountant to say, I'm going to offer free automations for your customers that have over 5 years experience in business and are looking to improve their operation. What are accountants going to lose from that? Their customers are getting a free service, so it means it's even more value for them. Or you can say, every new customer you get, I'm going to give you a free automation for that customer. Now they've got an extra perk for being their customer. You get a free automation alongside the accounting service. Same thing for legal. Same thing for these business groups. They're always recruiting more business owners to join their group because they're paid groups. So you come to them and you say, I want to do an exclusive offer for you guys. For every business that joins your group, I want to automate the operations or maybe even give them a free audit. I want to give them a free audit of their business to see where we can automate things for them and reduce the amount of hours they spend on admin work or operations. I did this when I was starting out my detailing business, and even growing my detailing business is a very good referral network. So you think of mechanics, paint shops, auto repairs, anything to do with cars, anything to do with people's houses, anyone that had a customer that could possibly have a car that they want to get cleaned or detailed, I'd approach them with that type of offering. I'll give you a free exterior wash, a free wax for all your customers or something like that, or a free interior detail. This is how you grow your customer base. The hardest thing about any business is getting your first few customers. This is the easiest way and the quickest way to get your first few customers. Offer to do it for free. When you see people are receiving value and they're actually referring customers to you, that's when you can start charging. Again, you don't want to be crazy for what you charge. You want to start off cheap until you know you got that experience and you get very good at what you're doing. Then you can charge higher and higher prices as you become more skilled and more valuable to the marketplace. It's a slow grind, and once I push through that beginning phase, it'll become much easier at the end. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The reason why I'm choosing operations is to identify SaaS opportunities. When it comes to SaaS, there's a lot of competition. But because I'm choosing operations, every single business has its own unique issues. So for me, my goal is to identify these issues in different businesses and seeing how they operate. From there, I can weigh up and be like, okay, where do I see the most opportunity to actually build a SaaS, a software as a service? Where do I see the lowest competition? Where do I see the highest ROI for my customer? So if I solve this operational issue, how much value do they get? Do they save $20,000? Do they save $100,000 a year? Do they save $1 million a year? The reason I'm doing this is because the work that goes into building a software is a lot. It's a lot of effort, it's a lot of resources, it's a lot of commitment. And I want to make sure I'm providing the most value with my software, because when I provide value, I can charge more money. So if I solve an issue for a car detailing company that's not making as much money as, let's say, a steel fabrication company, there's a massive price discrepancy in what I can charge. Maybe I could charge a few $100s for this type of software for detailing, or I could charge tens of thousands of dollars per year for someone to use my service or my software in a different industry. So at the start, I'm getting a feel for where I can provide the most value, where I can charge the most, where I can have most impact on my customers, on my clients, or on that industry. Then from there, you can look to build the actual software. And also on top of that, why I love software is because once it's built, it's a recurring business model, meaning the businesses pay you per month, per year to use your software. You build it once and you sell it multiple times. Now, this type of business model is very unique, And it's like the highest leverage you can have in business. When I say highest leverage, it means once you've built it, there's minimal effort to get more customers. And these type of businesses tend to sell anywhere between 6 to 8 times what you're making per year. So that means if your software or the platform you create is making $50,000 a year, you can sell that company for anywhere between $300,000 to $400,000. Okay, let's break down the math here. Our goal is to make $50,000 a year. All we'll need is 40 customers paying $100 a month. You're basically $50,000, $48,000 a year. So how hard do you think it would be to get 40 clients paying $100 a month for your service, if they're going to save a crazy amount of hours using your platform or your software? Now, I can tell you from experience, paying $100 for a software in business is really on the low end. Businesses pay thousands and thousands of dollars per year for this type of software. Sometimes tens and thousands of dollars per year for software. So depending on what issue you're solving, you can easily charge a few $100s for your software, get anywhere between 50 to 100 clients, and sell your business for a lot of money. This is why I love SaaS, software as a service. This is why I love this type of business model. There's a lot of value here. So let's say your software solves a problem in a certain industry and you're saving them, let's say $100,000 a year. How hard do you think it will be to charge them 10 to 20K a year to use your software? It's a no-brainer for them. They're making at least 5 to 10 times their money on what they invest in your software. So it's worth it for them. Imagine you have 10 customers paying you $10,000 a year. Just 10 customers paying you $10,000 a year. That's $100,000. Bang. That's almost $1 million business right there. So my plan is to identify an issue or a problem within a certain industry, a certain niche, where I can save them tens and thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars by creating a software. If I do that, I could charge them a few $1,000s to use that software every single year. I'm solving a major problem for them. So if I create a product where I'm saving the customer $100,000 a year, I can easily charge $10,000 for that per year for them to use my software. Let's say we have 20 customers. 20 customers paying $10,000 a year to use my software. That means I'm making $240,000 a year. And by using the 6 to 8x multiplier, I'm selling that for over $1 million. That's how I plan to make $1 million using this type of business model. Starting off with AI automation agencies to get a feel for what value I can provide, what issues I can solve. It's basically like market research and I'm getting paid for it. And then I use that knowledge to create a software. Okay? You understand? That's my plan. And inshallah, I will make that happen. With Allah's will and only Allah's will. Now you may be thinking, it's so hard to create a software, you need to be able to code, it's such a high barrier to entry. That's not the case. The same way creating e-commerce stores became much easier, much more accessible through Shopify, the same is happening with Bubble at the moment. It's not easy, it's still a little complicated, but it's much easier than creating a full-blown SaaS using your own code. You no longer need a full-blown team. You can do this with a few people. It's much easier than what it used to be. And it's something you can learn if you put your time into it. As I mentioned earlier in this video, I'm taking you guys on this journey with me. Now it's time for me to act upon the 3 methods that I highlighted earlier and actually reach out to everyone in my warm audience, reach out to people I know. I'm going to start off with the first method, which is sending everyone a text message, and in the next video, I'm going to show you my results. That's enough from me, over and out.